everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something that's completely transformed how I personally work. So if you have been looking for ways to boost your productivity, automate repetitive tasks, or just want to work smarter, then this video is for you. Today I'm talking about ChatGPT. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you exactly how I integrate ChatGPT into my daily workflow. I'll also cover practical uses, pro tips, and common mistakes to avoid. And don't worry, everything I'm going to talk to you about today, I am going to show you live so you see how that works. So before we start, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss future tutorials. Let's jump right in. So first things first, what is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is an AI-powered language model developed by OpenAI. So think of it as your personal assistant that can help you with writing, brainstorming, coding, research, and so much more. And the beauty of ChatGPT is that it is so versatile. So you can use it as a content creator, you can use it as a developer, a student, or even an entrepreneur. There's always a use case for everybody. Whatever skill or field you think you're into, there's a use case for you. And the good thing about it is that it saves time, reduces mental load, and helps you focus on what really matters. Now you might be wondering, why should I use ChatGPT when there are other tools out there? Well, I'd like to say that ChatGPT is very conversational, it's intuitive and constantly improving. And it's also very accessible to everyone from beginners to advanced users. We have the free version, we have paid versions, so it fits into everyone's pocket. You can head over to chatgpt.com and you will land on this page. Now you can navigate the other pages to see what they're about, read more about it. They have a learn page where you can check out different case scenarios on how to use ChatGPT, so you may want to check that out as well. There's also the business aspects for companies and enterprises that would like to explore the use of AI for their businesses. And then there's the pricing section. So they have the pricing page that outlines different pricing tiers that you can explore. Now the good thing about this pricing is that they have the free version and they also have other pricing tiers, so you may want to check that out. But the good thing is you can always start off on the free version, then as you progress you can upgrade to the pro version depending on what you're looking for. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to click on get free and we create an account. So once you click on get started, it's going to bring you to this page, so you can log in with either your Google, Apple, Microsoft phone number or just your email address. In this case I'm using my Google account, so let's go ahead and do that. Create an account and access the dashboard. Alright, so when you finish creating your account, you're going to see this screen. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Chats may be reviewed and used for training, so make sure to always read all of these instructions, and if you're not okay with anything, feel free to opt out of them anytime. So we're going to go ahead and click on continue, and once you're in, you're going to see a simple chat interface just like this. This is where the magic happens. You can start by typing any questions or prompts and ChatGPT will respond in seconds. Now that we're here, I am going to walk you through several things that I do personally that helps me in my productivity and helps me make the most use of ChatGPT. The first thing I'm going to explore here is the custom instructions for personalized responses. Now this feature will let you set persistent preferences so ChatGPT remembers your context across all conversations. You don't have to repeat yourself every single time. Here's how to use it. Over here at the bottom left, click on it and go to settings. Now when you get to settings, go to personalization, so you can personalize your ChatGPT to think and talk like you. So there are settings like the base tone. How do you want all the responses that you want to be getting to come in? Do you want professional, friendly, candid, quickie, whatever? And then in terms of characteristics, how do you want all these customizations to be? If you don't have anything in mind, please feel free to leave it as default. Would you like to have more emojis or less emojis? People get to complain about seeing lots of emojis in their ChatGPT responses. This is where the setting is. It's probably on default, so it can just do, whenever it's on default, it can just do whatever it wants, and there's nothing you can do about it except you ask it to remove it. This is where you actually update that setting. Do you want more emoji or do you want less? Now there's a custom instructions. This is like additional behavior, style, tone preferences, whatever it is that you can think of. And then about you, as the person owning this workspace, you can set your nickname. How do you want ChatGPT to call you? You can set your occupation. So if you're using this for work, for instance, or you're a content creator or entrepreneur, you can include what you do here. So for every time you prompt it to ask questions, it provides responses based off on what you need. And then more about you. These can be your interests, your values, your preferences to keep in mind. There's also memory. You can toggle that to manage the kind of saved memories that you have. You can delete this. So whatever memory that you don't need saved within ChatGPT, you can go ahead and delete that. Then there's also reference saved memories. So this is particularly for people using their ChatGPT for a particular thing. So let's say you're an entrepreneur and you always want to reference everything that you have searched in the past to be able to get proper responses. So let's say you run a cake baking business, and for every time you want to do anything, you prompt AI, you want it to reference all the prompts that you have inputted before. And then you can also reference your chat history or not. There's also the advanced, so you can go ahead and check that. Anything you don't want, feel free to disable. It's not going to affect anything, but just make sure that your personalization settings are up to date, so you'd be able to get custom responses. Honestly, this saves so much time and makes every interaction more relevant to your needs than just getting the general responses that ChatGPT gives. The next thing I want to talk about are projects. This is for people that run multiple projects. So I, as a person, I work professionally as a community manager, but then I am also a content creator. I'm trying to build a personal brand, so I might create a project and call it personal brand. Now, when you create a project, it shows up here under project. Please note that you can create as many projects as possible, but then what that helps me do is everything that has to do with my personal brand, I can organize it under this project. So look at it like creating a folder on your laptop. You can have a folder and arrange all the projects, all the documents that you have that is in relation to that folder. It's somewhat like that. So now I can add files, I can customize this, and for every time I prompt using this section of ChatGPT, it's going to be only in relation to my personal brand. I can go ahead and do the same thing for my business. So for every time that I want to do something for Pasta the Cafe, it has a project folder on its own. So I don't have to come to the general chat. I just need to come to the folder chat and I would be able to prompt AI to do what I want to do for Pasta the Cafe. Now, another thing that I want to show you are group chats. Now, within ChatGPT, you can start a group chat with people. Let's go ahead and click on Start Group Chat. Now, what this does for us is that we'll be able to start a group chat with our friends or collaborators. You can go ahead and share the link with them. You can always access this back, or you can reset the link if you do not want any other person to access it after the people that have joined. Now, what that helps us do is every single prompt that anybody is going to send within this chat will be visible to the people in this chat. So let's say you're working on a project together, you're trying to prompt ChatGPT to do something for you, to organize ideas and brainstorm and all of that. Everybody in this chat will be able to access it, and for every time they also prompt AI to do something pertaining to this project, you're also going to be able to see it. Another interesting feature that I use a lot, although on my mobile, is the voice feature. Now, the voice mode allows you converse with ChatGPT like you're talking to a real human being. Look at it like your therapist. Look at it like you're having conversations with someone that understands, someone that's been trained with enough data and actually understands what you're going through and can give you feedback or guidance. So let's go ahead and explore this. So you're going to click on voice mode. If you're using mobile, it's pretty much the same icon. So you click on this and you can start conversing. So for instance, I can say, hello, I am super stressed and I need help. I don't know how to rest. I just need a few ideas of things I can do to get my mind off stress.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to help with that. When you're feeling super stressed, it can be really helpful to do things that calm your mind and body.
Right. So when that happens, you can always end the conversations anytime and you can always continue anytime. Now, it's also pretty easy for you to change what the voice sounds like. All you need to do is go back to settings, click on settings, and under general you're going to see spoken language. So you can say auto detect spoken language, which is usually best to leave it at that, and then you can change the voice, the type, whatever you want. Now going back to this page, you can also use ChatGPT to create a prompt. I know it's an AI model that you prompt, but you can prompt it to give you a prompt. So you can simply ask AI that you're trying to build a project with Lovable, or you're trying to build a project on Bolt or Tray or whatever AI model you're using, and that it should create you a prompt, and it's going to do that. So let me show you a typical example. Now this is the easiest prompt that you can write. You can go ahead and add other details like how many years in community management, what my name is, whatever it is you want to add. But let's just enter this and see what it's going to give to us. And there we have it. It says here is a copy paste ready Lovable build prompt tailored for community manager personal website. So you can discard this first section, but this is what the primary goal is. You can go ahead and just copy this from here and paste it in Lovable, and you have an initial first draft of your website. Another important thing that I do that helps me and makes life easy for me with ChatGPT is the apps section. Now when you click on the apps section, you're going to see apps that have been integrated into ChatGPT. Yes, the ones that you use personally, even the ones that you can explore. Now it helps you chat directly with each of these apps to do a particular thing. For instance, you can connect with Canva and ask it to design something. You can just share an idea of what you want, and it's going to do that for you. Here is an example here. At Canva, create some social media posts based on our October campaign brief. You can go ahead and paste the brief, and then you can say something like, at Canva, use this letters investor meeting notes to make a Q1 2026 pitch deck using my go-to-market brand template. You paste it, or you can just enter a prompt of what you want. There are so many things that you can do. The possibilities are endless. You can do the same with other platforms, even with Lovable. You can do same. At Lovable, build me an AI-powered customer support app. It's going to open Lovable. Now the only thing you'll be required to do is to connect to each of your accounts, so you'd be able to build. So whatever you're chatting, whatever you're saying on ChatGPT integrates directly into these platforms. Now there's also something on ChatGPT called the temporary chat. Now this is when you don't want any of your items to be saved on ChatGPT. You don't want it to appear in the history. You don't want it to be saved to ChatGPT memory. You don't want any of your responses to be used to train models, because remember, all your responses that have been saved in ChatGPT will be used to train the model. It will notice patterns. How do you prompt? How do you respond? How do you ask follow-up? So that data will be used to train its memory. But if you don't want that for safety purposes, you can always create a temporary chat. Okay, now let me share with you pro tips for maximum efficiency. I like to call this the 5 elements of a great prompt, and I have listed it out here. First of all, who should your AI be? Whenever you are telling AI to do something for you, ask it from the perspective of the who. For example, you can say act as a senior software engineer, or you can say you're a marketing consultant with 10 years of experience. Do this. So before you prompt ChatGPT, always give it a role. Secondly, give some context. What's the situation? You can say something like, give a background information. I'm creating content for developers who want to learn AI. Or you can also say something like, this is for a B2B SaaS company targeting CTOs. Context matters a lot, because it's just a robot. It doesn't know what is in your mind. It doesn't know what your expectations are. But when you give it context, it gives you the actual results that you want. Thirdly, what exactly do you want? These are the tasks. Be very specific when giving ChatGPT instructions or tasks on what to do. Instead of saying, write an email, you can say something like, write a follow-up email to a prospect who attended our webinar yesterday, mentioning the key takeaways and offering a demo. Then you can go ahead and put all the information you have about the webinar, what the takeaways were, and it will do what you want. Fourthly, how should it look like? Formatting is very important when chatting or when prompting ChatGPT to give you responses. You get to hear people say, oh, there are too many emojis, or there are too many M dashes, or there are too many spaces, or there are too many this and that. Oh, I wanted this in a table, I wanted this in a bulleted format. You have to specify the structure when prompting AI. For instance, create this in a bullet point list, or write in a paragraph form, or format this in a table with 3 columns. Let's say, for instance, you're filling out a form and you're answering questions, and that form tells you 200 characters only. How do you prompt ChatGPT to summarize your response in 200 characters? You can say something like, write this in under 200 characters. Please note that there's a difference between characters, there's a difference between paragraphs, there's a difference between words, there's a difference between sentences. And this software has been trained with exact data. So don't go and speak bad grammar and expect ChatGPT to understand what you mean. You might say 200 sentences. Meanwhile, in the real sense, you were looking for 200 characters. It's gonna give you sentences. So be very specific and learn the tenses. And finally, your tone and style. How do you want that response to be? You need to define the voice. You can say something like, use a professional but friendly tone. You can say something like, write like a blogger or a tech blogger. You can say something like, keep it casual and conversational. Now, a chunk of these things, I have already shown you how to personalize your responses in the settings, so that as you keep prompting, whether you remember to input any of these things while prompting or not, it already remembers that you already have personalized settings and just follows through those commands. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the advanced prompting techniques. Now, once you've mastered the basics, here are some advanced techniques that you can follow through. The first one is chain prompting. It's basically you breaking down tasks into several steps. So instead of asking for a full article in one go, ask for an outline. When it gives you an outline, ask for it to expand on each section or each topic. That's how to prompt. It's called chain prompting. Secondly, there is few short examples. Now, this is the point where you provide examples of what you want. Here are 3 headlines that I like. Now, write 5 more in the same style. That's an example that you provided, and you're asking it to give you 5 more in that same format, in that same style. So always provide examples. Thirdly, there is constraint prompting. You need to add limitations to improve quality. For instance, write this in under 200 words, or use simple language only, no jargon. If you ask ChatGPT to do something for you, it is going to do it. But how do you want it to do it? You asked it to respond to a message for you. It can respond to a message with 3,000 words. Meanwhile, you needed just something with about 500 words. So always put constraints when prompting. And finally, iterative refinement. Do not settle for the first output. Sometimes it might look perfect, but then you'd be shocked that the more you keep prompting, the more you keep asking follow-up questions, you're going to get something better. You can say something like, make this more concise, rewrite the entire technical detail, add bullet points, explain this section like I'm 5. There are several follow-ups that you can always ask ChatGPT. And the good thing is that it's AI, it's not a human being, so it's not going to get tired and yell at you for asking it to explain more, make it more concise. So always follow up with iterative refinement to get what you want. Now let's talk about what not to do with ChatGPT. 1, don't rely on it blindly. Always review and edit the output. Remember that ChatGPT is a tool and not a replacement of your judgment. Because it's giving you responses that are good to hear doesn't mean that it's the truth. So always make your research. Secondly, avoid vague prompts. I have shown you how to prompt. I have shown you the various things that you need to input into ChatGPT to be able to get good prompts. So remember that generic questions lead to generic answers. So take your time to write a good prompt to be able to get what you want. And finally, do not share sensitive information. Never input personal data, passwords, or confidential business information on ChatGPT. The same way you're using this tool to search, to prompt, to do whatever you want to do is the same way thousands and millions of people worldwide are doing same. So your data stands that risk of being exposed, because remember that your saved memory and everything that you're doing with ChatGPT is being saved and used to continually train this model. So don't share sensitive information. Make sure that your private data cannot be found here. And that's it. So now you know how to use ChatGPT to supercharge your workflow just the way that I do mine. So remember to start small, pick 1 or 2 use cases and integrate them into your daily routine. Trust me, once you start, you won't even look back. If you found this tutorial helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more productivity and tech content. Drop a comment below and let me know how you're currently using ChatGPT. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.